Einstein the Plagiarist. I'm forced to present that Einstein is a plagiarist on these true facts. I conferred with him personally in 1955. Yeah, that old, young old man. And that was, as far as politely suggesting, as I politely put it, the modernization of what was called the Lorentz-Einstein transformation equation. And explained that if my rho prime equals his rho, but my m prime is less than his m, then my v prime must be greater than his v. So in his day, they were thinking and theoretically had broken the light barrier, and then actually did. In my day now today, we think and theoretically at least have broken the light barrier, and in future years we will find particles greater than the velocity of light, and we will be able to accelerate particles greater than the velocity of light. And there are many instances where they have shown increments of particles faster than the speed of light. And there were science clubs faster than the speed of light. And then there's phase velocity and group velocity. And then, as I was explaining to him on his book of relativity falling due to my rho prime equal to his rho, etc., that the m, as it goes towards the infinitesimal particle, it will then have v greater. And what you have then is my capital C transformation equation, which is capital X prime equals capital X minus VT over the square root of 1 minus V squared over capital C squared, where capital C is least equal to or greater than the velocity of light. So they can do all kinds of limiting excuses. No, Einstein's irrational thinking is limited. You understand that. That's the true fact. Now, he plagiarized then. Of course, he took Fitzgerald's transformation equation. You can't doubt that. That's what he uses. Poincare's relativity, the title at the World Scientific Congress in St. Louis in 1904. Philip Leonard's photoelectric effect. Absolutely. Then I always defended him because E equals MC squared, I said, was the greatest, and that was his original work until I was in an Italian-American club. And it shows that there's a Mr. Olinto de Preto, capital D-E, capital P-R-E-T-T-O, Olinto de Preto. He put forward E equals MC squared in 1903 in an industrial science magazine. Then in 1904, Atti in the Royal Science Institute of Veneto. And this Royal Science Institute, he put forward E equals MC squared. Absolutely, that equation explained it and how it would go from a small amount of matter into a tremendous amount of energy as he calculated. Now, a Professor Umberto Bartocci, B-A-R-T-O-C-C-I, a mathematician, a scholar. He's a historian about the discipline of mathematics. He has written a book, Albert Einstein, Olinto di Pietro, The True History of the World's Most Famous Equation, equals MC squared. Absolutely proves this di Pietro's work. When I saw that, I always defended Einstein. I says, now, when I conferred with him in person, he wanted to speak in German. And I only knew a few words, but I could speak in Italian. He avoided that. Now that he could speak Italian. He lived in Italy. I found out in research now. He went to school there. He reviewed work in Italian at the Swiss Patent Office. His best friend was Michael Basso. Who's Michael Basso? He worked with Einstein at the patent office. Best friends, Michael Basso, Olinto di Pietro, Olinto Pietro's brother, and Einstein. They lived in that same area, and they would get together and have what's new and interesting in science discussions. And who is Michael Basso? Well, Olinto Di Pietro's brother worked for a Mr. Baso, this Michael Baso's uncle. So Michael Baso and Olinto Di Pietro are first cousins. Do you understand how close and related they are as relatives and friends? So now they say, well, it's your Einstein's word against you, and Einstein is, so famous, and I'm still anonymous, even though I have achieved. Frankly, after 1957, I didn't have time for Einstein's rational opinions, really. See, because I put forward photoelectric copier, light application of electromagnetic radiation, absolutely my work. Take polygraph, lie detector test, challenge anybody, anytime. That is #1 in the world. You understand? So Einstein asked me if I was sure. I said, I'm sure. And then he said, well, we would work together. And I said, well, with my bold concepts and your expertise in math and in physics, I think it's the ideal combination where we can maybe put forward an expression as a unified field theory. And he says, you're right. He says, but they tell me not to work with you. Yeah, they want to keep me anonymous because they have taken my work. It's unconstitutional, but I say we have the right to work together, and let's give it a try as far as I think we can put forward an expression of in a unified field theory. He says, you're right. The night before we were supposed to start work, you see, the way we did it, I was talking to his secretary. He says, live-in secretary, I think her name was Rose. That's the way he wanted to do it. I would talk to her until she got it exactly like I wanted to present to him. See, I'm Californian there in Princeton. And she would then take it down in shorthand, and we go back and forth until she had it just the way I wanted to present. And he'd be on the phone. She was on the extension. Then she would talk to him in German. I could hear him, understand a couple of words. When he had it just the way he wanted to understand it in German, then he would talk to me in English. But he would still say, you speak a little Dutch? And I say, no, English, a little Italian. But he would steer clear. He never said, well, I can speak Italian. He never gave Di Pietro credit. Why didn't Di Pietro stand up and say, hey, I should get some credit for this? It's because Di Pietro, when it started to get famous, he was shot and killed and died, so he wasn't there to. So when nobody said anything, Einstein went with it until he got world famous, and he never gave Di Pietro credit. Now, when I see this in the Italian American Club, that Di Pietro's original work, I got to be sure. So I have to be sure by research, and this is the true facts as I have presented them. They were related and real close friends. And they say, yeah, but it's still Einstein's word, the great Einstein, and who are you? You see. And I say, well, now I have in my research, Einstein made one little mistake. They say these are experts in analyzing reviews of Einstein and why he didn't give references. And their expert opinion is because he wanted to get credit for it. If you put a reference, then he would say who he got the work from. And he wanted a position as a professor at a university, so he wanted to think it was his work. But he made a mistake. My research, and the mistake was he mentioned one reference, Michael Baso, Olinto Di Pietro's first cousin, and who they all were together related and close friends. Now I'm forced to say Einstein the Plagiarist. That is the true facts, and I think I'm entitled to my constitutional honors and frankly, of what I have achieved, of its worth, and what I have done, especially in light application of electromagnetic radiation in this century and the future centuries. Absolutely. They say, well, we present the truth to the people. It's their right to know. Well, all right, then let them know and present the truth. I'll take a polygraph test on your desk, pay for it, but you must print the results. Fair enough. Thank you.